Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Scates, Membership Relations Manager at Central Houston. I am here today with Jennifer Wagner, who's the director of the Houston office of HKS, a local architecture firm. They have 24 offices, actually. Jennifer has been with the company for 23 years. She opened the Houston office. Welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the firm and how 2020 was for you guys.
HKS is a large architecture firm. We're an international firm, as you mentioned, with 24 offices. We have opened this office about 6 years ago to support our efforts here in Houston, have boots on the ground. 2020 was actually a really good year for us. It was a very up and down year, just like everybody experienced, and we had to put in place a lot of stopgaps to make sure that we were financially viable at the end of the year, and we ended up having a very successful year.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So your role there specifically, what's your favorite part of the job?
Working with the staff. So my job as the director of the office is to kind of help the staff and make sure that we get roadblocks out of the way for them. We have a young staff, and I really enjoy helping them along.
And how many do you have in the Houston office?
So we have 22 people in the Houston office right now. So continue to grow, and that's based kind of on projects and workload. So we have a variety of project types here. We focus on mixed use and education and health being a prime. So we like to have the diversity, and we have a diverse staff with that.
And as a company, you guys have been proactive in thinking through what the workplace might look like post-COVID. What kind of decisions have been made around that, and what's still under consideration?
Well, we initially started as a company with kind of an in-house reboot task force, and we've used ourselves as a model for that. As we've looked across our offices, and we're test piloting some different scenarios in offices of how we're going to function when we come back. We've also looked at what we want to do moving forward as far as a flex policy. We've found that our staff did a great job and has continued to do a great job working remotely. We have not seen productivity drop. In fact, we've seen it go up. Continue to watch for quality and the connectivity with everyone, but as a whole, we've found that to work very well. So we're starting to look at what does the office mean now as we all head back. What will it mean to people coming back? Because it's not about the productivity. We're finding that it's about that collaboration and the communication, kind of that bonding that a team needs to really be successful. So the office probably isn't going to be about going back to your desk. It's going to be going back to a teaming area, a conferencing. How can we support those efforts? So for us, we've decided that we're going to have a flexible work policy that our staff has asked for a long time. So we have implemented 2 days a week that staff will be able to work from home. And that includes all staff top down. So that you can have that time away and that quality time to get things done, but you can come back in and have that collaboration and mentorship that is crucial to growth in the firm.
And you mentioned that you guys have a young staff, and I know when we talked about this before, you were thinking that that would be a real recruitment plus for you to have that flex time built in.
Yeah, we think so. I think a lot of people, we're hooked to a computer, we're hooked to a phone, a laptop, tablet, whatever that is at the time. And so the connectivity that we found, 10 years ago, that was an issue because if you weren't in the office, you weren't at your desk, you weren't at a computer. Now people are connected 24/7. So the need to physically be there for productivity is not the same. But again, going back to that kind of collaborative effort, that we feel like maybe gets a little bit lost in there. So having a balance, we think, will be a nice attraction to our staff.
So are you thinking about redesigning the office, or are you just going to reuse the space the way it is?
I think it'll be a little bit of both. I mean, we're certainly going to look at, ongoing needs as kind of is true with most offices. Personal space got much smaller over the years. So, we sit in small spaces, open spaces, and I think the idea of socially distancing will continue for a while. So we need to look at how do we give that flexibility and make sure that people coming back into the office feel safe. And then have those kind of group efforts in the teaming. So, we have talked about that all meetings will continue to have a digital format, so that part of the office may be in the office and part of the office may be out. So I think it will be a combination of redesign and just rethink.
And
I
as
don't
you're
think it will be
rethinking,
one specific thing. Sorry.
what planning resources did you guys utilize to think through this?
Well, because we're an architecture and an interiors firm, we used a lot of our own experience. We also have an in-house research team that we use on several of our health, education, and commercial projects, and we became their guinea pigs. So from day one, we have been doing surveys and studies of our own staff. And like I mentioned earlier, we are using a couple of our offices right now as prototypes to what we're calling reboot, kind of as we move back in the office. What does that mean, and how do we want to rethink that? So we're using ourselves as the tools, and then we'll be able to take that knowledge and share it with our clients.
So yeah, so we have been talking mostly about internal meetings and collaboration, but what about the client side? Do you think post-pandemic client engagement will change the way that you're on site or working with them?
I think it'll be a combination, and it depends on the client and what we're doing. As far as like construction job sites, we've continued to be on the sites that those jobs needed to continue, and we needed to get the work done. So we're doing that in the safest manner we can. Face-to-face client meetings have still been very limited. But as we move forward, I think it will be a combination of both. As clients have gotten more comfortable with Zoom and any of the digital formats, and we have some clients who feel like that's going to be the most effective way to continue meetings, that for scheduling purposes, especially when they are across multiple offices, it's a time saver. But you lose some translation without being kind of that face-to-face and just being able to read each other a little differently than just over a Zoom call. So I think it'll be a combination of both.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of companies are really struggling with what to do moving forward, and you guys are really ahead of the game. So I appreciate you spending a couple minutes to tell us all about it. So before we go, tell me a little bit about how HKS finds value in Central Houston.
We like the connectivity. It's great to be able to be connected to other industries. It's great for business development, but it's also just good knowledge for us and to be part of that community. So we want to be embedded. When we open an office in a new city, we want to be part of that city. So we are HKS Houston, not HKS in the global sense. So we're certainly part of the bigger picture within our firm, but we want to be integrated into our community.
And for downtown Houston, what's your favorite part about downtown?
Just the activity on the street. We like to see that it's changed in the 6 years we've been here. We're seeing so much more growth and kind of more activity on the street level, which adds some energy to the city. So we're enjoying that.
Yeah, great, good. Thank you so much, Jennifer. This has been really fun, and thank you all for tuning in. We will see you downtown soon. Bye.
Thank you.